Welcome back to the Theme Park Universe episode 9, where we have special guest Park Journey, Greg from Park Journey, and of course co-host Vash. Guy, how are you guys today?
Doing great. How are you
Doing
guys?
pretty, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Thank you so much for asking, there, Wizard. Greg, thank you so much for being part of the show. I was filling in the fellas before here. We had a whole bunch of topics in order to round out 2023, going on 2024. But man, stuff just keeps popping off. So we'll try to get to as many topics as we possibly can. If you guys though have an idea for maybe something we missed and you want us to cover, maybe we can do that in the next show. Go ahead and leave something in the comments below. Help us out.
That's right. And also, where can everyone find you, Mr. Greg? Park Journey websites, YouTube, where they
At Park Journey all across the board. Park Journey Twitter, Park Journey Instagram, Park Journey YouTube, Park Journey Facebook. It pretty much same everywhere. Kind of try to keep it consistent.
I like it. I like it a lot. And where we start off, Dr. Dre, Florida.
Yeah, let's go to Florida. Let's go to Florida with Universal Studios Florida, to be precise. If you want to go ahead and share my screen right here. This is coming to us via Universal Parks News Today. Breaking attractions, large areas of Universal Studios Florida now opening late to cut costs. Oh my gosh, what is actually happening? Well, when you actually follow that link and go to the site, it seems that right here, welcome to the slow season. January tends to be a slower month at the Universal Orlando Resort, which often leads to operational changes at the parks. And after the holidays, park hours tend to be shortened. But Universal Studios Florida has now made a major change. They're opening large areas of the park, and several attractions will be opening late each day. And you can see right here, you can see some attendance right there. Blocking your way forward from this area. It says right here, the following attractions will be open at 10 a.m. That includes E.T., Men in Black Alien Attack, Simpsons The Ride, and Twirlin' Hurl. I saw you, Wizard. You got, into with a couple of peeps on Twitter because, well, there was outrage here. And look, I don't necessarily disagree that, hey, if you are paying for the operating hours of a theme park, it's nice to have every single one of those attractions available and online for each hour that it is open. However, that's not always the case, and sometimes that can't always be an operational reality. In this case right here, we have 4 attractions down. That is true. An hour after opening, it looks like. But there are, a total of 13 attractions for this park right here. So, 30% of the park is down, but 70% of the park is up and operating. You add in the shows right there, that average goes down to about 23%. So, look, it's not great. It's not awesome. I'm definitely not enthusiastic about it, but these are the 4 attractions that are some of with the lowest demand. But I don't know. We know Wizard's thought on this, and I'll go back to him in a moment. But Greg, I want to go ahead and get your thoughts right here. What do you think about all this?
I don't have a huge problem with it. I mean, you figure, World Showcase at Epcot consistently in the past opens an hour later after Future World. There's not so many attractions, or there didn't used to be. But I don't see this being any different than that, to be honest with you. You've got the whole front end of the park. You've got all the Minions. You've got Fallon, you've got Mummy, you've got Rip Ride Rocket, you've got
Transformers, Green Gods,
you got Diagon Alley, right. I honestly, if this was IOA and they were not opening like Velocicoaster for an hour, then I might have a problem. But I'm okay. Maybe I would not include ET in this because it's ET and it's awesome.
I know, I agree.
But the rest, I don't have a huge problem with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought this was. I won't say much ado about nothing because it is something, but at the same time, it's like these are like low demand attractions. These aren't the longest. I was going to say longest waits, but these aren't the most in demand. I'll say that. And I do agree with you about the Epcot point. This is the point I was making on another show here. Epcot used to open consistently, at least World Showcase used to open consistently later than the entire park itself. And you are right that there are not that many attractions, but there's a lot to do back there. And for a lot of people, that's the reason why they're visiting Epcot in the first place. This is a little bit different of a paradigm right here. Wizard, I know you have thoughts on this. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it was, I get it, hey, it sucks to have the back portion of the park closed for an hour. But yeah, there's some of those people on the Twitter that were responding were acting like it was a total like travesty. But really, as like you brought up, Dr. Dre, a lot of people they rope drop Disney parks, right? I'm just not sure it's the same with the Universal parks. A lot of people, at least here, when I pop over to Hollywood, it doesn't really get busy till like 10 or 11, No, it comes like, and that'll be obviously after the hour is up. So there's not such of a crush to go in the park anyway. And even here in Hollywood, the biggest attractions, Harry Potter opened like an hour earlier. Super Nintendo World's open an hour early access. So the biggest things are open. Minions sometimes opens at 11 a.m. when the park opens at 10. Like, I don't see anyone complaining about it. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Obviously, yes, it's not nothing, but it's not like a total. The sky is falling. I mean, as I explained before, you go in. By the time you get your breakfast, your churro, go to the bathroom, do the locker stuff, and then even to get in line for something, because I'm sure they open up the lines a little bit. It's boom, 10 o'clock. You can get on the thing. Like, it's totally fine. But especially in the slower season, it's not like it's the summertime or holiday time either. Everyone's back in school. Universal parks, at least here, are pretty empty and on the weekday. So, yeah, I think it'll be just fine.
I think so too. It's the operational reality of running these places, especially in the off season. It's expensive. Labor is ever increasing, which is good. I mean, in terms of getting people paid, but also too, for a theme park proprietor, they have thresholds in which they have to stay under, and so sometimes this stuff happens not in the way that we at all want at all. And look, I get upset when Disney does this. Rise historically closed early back in the first year or so of that theme park attraction opening. So, I'm not a big fan of this, but again, it could always be worse. And at least this is happening with the low demand attractions. But it's not low demand. Well, it's going to be the Universal Studios tour. Now, Wizard, you have some information on this that I think a lot of people would like to hear from you on concerning the future of this historic part of Universal Studios Hollywood. Could you please elaborate for us?
Oh, yes. Well, this year is the 60th anniversary of Universal Studios Hollywood, which is pretty cool. And looks like they're going all in on entertainment, Halloween Horror Nights, and the tour, which is great because the tour started it all. And right now, if you take the tour, you'll see multiple things under refurbishment, like the Bates Motel and some others. Random Scalping Earthquake, of course, will be coming back from its year-long refurbishment this spring. And then I've heard that a potential walking portion will be debuting on the tour later on this year, which will be pretty cool. Harkens right back to the old days and you go on and off the tram, that'll be like a nice little throwback there, but also will make the tour the length of time around like the same amount of time, or like it'll keep the length up, because if that rumored Falls Lake expansion happens, it takes out a chunk of the tour. But if you're walking, the time will still be on 45 to 60 minutes, which is really cool. So the tour is going to get some cool stuff, of course, with the electric trams as well. So exciting stuff, and even more cool stuff, I'm sure, that we don't even know about.
Greg, what do you think?
I mean, when you were mentioning that, you two probably don't remember when you used to get off the tram and walk. I certainly do from when I was a kid. You used to basically get down on the lower lot, and that's where the special effects shows were. And you basically got off the tram and walk through and then back on and then finish your thing. So I love that idea. I think that there's lots of space for that. Obviously, if they end up shortening the tram route, that definitely plays into that as well. And I mean, there's been rumors for years as well that they're going to do the tram. They're going to move tram load down to the lower lot like it used to be as well, and kind of use that area. I don't know if that's all a part of this. I doubt it, for this year. But that's been rumors for quite a while, I think.
I think eventually that is coming in order to free up some space in the upper lot, and it could provide also some connective tissue with some of the elements that they want to bring down there. I think this is awesome. The prospect of getting off the studio tour once again, I think is really, really cool. And Wizard, I think the earthquake rehab that is currently going on right now, that's a little bit more, what is it, a bigger capital expenditure than we were necessarily anticipating. I guess they're doing a lot of stuff there, right?
Yeah, they're making the whole computer systems and getting the entire attraction, rebuilding it from the ground up, basically inside, which is pretty cool. Also, they're using Windows like 97 in there, which is crazy. I think that's what Indiana Jones uses. It's funny how these rides use such an old Windows system.
They got their old computer system and so forth, and it's nice when those are actually redone and things are modernized, and obviously that'll lead to some operational delays in the short term, but in the long term, hopefully these things will run a lot better, a lot more consistently, and it's great that the studio tour is getting a little bit of love. I think that's really, really cool in preparation for some anniversaries, I am sure. But we got to talk about the big elephant, or maybe the tram in the room, when it comes to what's been going on today over there in Anaheim. So, as everybody knows, today was the start of Magic Key sales, 9 a.m. PT, and well, you know what that means: virtual queues and Disney.
People are still in line. People are still waiting.
They're still waiting. Oh, goodness gracious! So, everything's going along. Everything's going fine. We're gonna go ahead and open up Magic Key sales.
It crashed at 8:45 a.m.
8:45. The Magic Key site actually goes down right there. The Theme Park Insider right here. We're working on it.
Those Pleasant doors were very busy today.
I think the credit card machines went down at the park as well.
Yeah, that too.
Yes. So that's the thing here. I love this joke right here. I've got no problem with the doors doing IT, but maybe you need more than 7 of them. I like that right there. You were saying that the credit card machines went down. Well, this was the state. So if you wanted to bypass maybe the online system right here, well, your luck didn't get much better. You can see right here just crazy lines right here at the ticket booths in front of both Disney California Adventure and Disneyland in the Esplanade right there. This is via Reddit right here. Credit card machines at Disneyland are currently down, and the wait times at guest services are being quoted at 3.5 plus hours. Magic Key went back on sale at 9 a.m. this morning. You can see right here just the insanity that is this system right here. It's just crazy. It's insane. Not only that, but
such an event. Like, it's just you don't see this at any other park in the world. It's just because they cut them off, and it reminds me of like back in the day when they used to only release the movies every 7 years or something like that. You would get long lines of people wanting to buy the VHS or whatever. That doesn't even compare to this. This is just insane, and they've just even KTLA and all the news is reporting on it, and everything that Disney does now. It's just free publicity for Disneyland, basically, and people are still buying them.
I mean, if people are still waiting or opting to wait at these massive lines and go through all the hassle in order to do this, they feel that there's a compelling product on the other end of it. So, who am I to judge?
Look, Theme Park Insider has followed him all day. He got in there at 9 a.m. when it broke and what other stuff. It was at the end of the day when I got home or something. He said, update, all that time waiting, and he didn't even get one. They were all sold out. Like, come on, man. Disney has people waiting the whole work days in this virtual thing and for a luck of the random draw, and you can maybe or maybe not get one. When there's really an unlimited amount available, they just cap it. So
Yes.
annoying. I don't know why people do that, but I guess they I mean, just get the 3-day SoCal resident ticket. That's perfect. That's what I do. I don't wait in these lines for $1,700 magic key that has blockout dates. Terrible.
Yeah, we've spoken to Robert Niles before. Good guy, but man, I feel so bad for him. 5 hours plus wasted a day caught in Disney's IT loop after getting through the queue and got nothing in the end. It looks like right here via this update from Scott Gustin, Magic Key update, the Enchant Key, Believe Key, and Inspire Key are no longer available for new purchases. The passes are now only available for renewals. The Imagine Key is still available for new purchases and renewals. Man, really?
Insane.
This is. Well, go ahead, Greg. Yeah, you have.
It's just, I mean, we have a Magic Key. We renewed ours last year. We almost didn't, but it's just, like Robert, like they should be giving him an annual pass. Like, he should
for real.
Like I've known Robert for 15 years. Like he gets invited to every single Disney thing. He doesn't need a Magic Key. Come on, Robert. But it's just crazy that there's just this much demand still, for Disneyland passes, and they're still doing reservations and they're doing all this. And at least in Florida, they've kind of, they've stopped reservations on certain days. And
right.
It's just, it's too much. It's too much hassle at this point, to be honest with you. I mean, I love Disney. We're going to, go with, we have our passes till September at least. So we're probably going to keep them, but it's just, it's such, you have to dedicate an entire day, and how much money to, just buy the pass, let alone, actually being able to use it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It is a lot of rigmarole to go through now. And one of the reasons why they maintain the reservation system is because of this crazy demand, right? So there is a practical value to it, and I understand it, but it's still it's not nearly as convenient as it was before, when you could just show up. Now you have this like 6 reservations you have to handle if you have the Inspire Key, for example, right? And you have to dole those out in various ways, and then trying to line yourself up with the pass requirements of like a ticket holder if you want to bring your friends or family or whatever. That's a whole big process that I had to go through, unfortunately, back in November. But go ahead.
I'm just looking at this video again. I mean, they knew people were going to come show up. So why don't you put some temporary kiosks where people self-serve kiosks where people can buy their Magic Key instead of standing in these lines? They have to be there forever.
But if there's no lines, then there's no story. You don't get your free publicity.
Oh, I mean, the lines will still be there, but at least the people in the back of the line can go to little self-serve kiosks. And then there'll be lines of the kiosks. At least can spread them out a little bit. Because I
can't even remember last time I went to a ticket booth at any theme park. Let alone that line. I would have just turned around and I went and gone home. I wouldn't
say, like, that's crazy.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like I think Wizard brings up a good point here. Yes, I do agree with you, Greg. It is they get the publicity off of these things and the artificial scarcity and all those things. Those are tactics in order to generate demand, right? But it's like, man, could this process be at all any better fulfilled, right? It maybe not in the physical context, but in the virtual context at least. This IT stuff, man, it's just getting insane. It's getting horrendous. 5 hours in this whole thing. People got to work.
If my company ran IT the way that Disney does, we would be out of business.
I don't disagree with you. I know in my line of work, there'd be no excuses for this to be happening over and over and over again. Maybe in the physical space, you can get the social media clicks, but in the virtual space, people end up very, very frustrated. It's tough, for sure. But
But I mean, I guess I'm not that frustrated because look, they're back at it.
They keep doing it right here, and it's kind of surprising that there would be this much demand, considering. There's a lot of stuff going down for refurbishment, at least in the short term, and throughout the year. We know that Haunted Mansion's going to be down at least the original incarnation is not going to be available for all of 2024. Maybe we can get the holiday version at the very tail end here. But we know that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is not going to be open until probably in the winter as well. We have a slew of different entertainment venues that still aren't open. It's tough. It's a tough justification for a purchase of this magnitude, and especially the rigmarole that has to go into both getting it and getting the value from it. It's a lot to take in for sure.
Absolutely. And then you're just looking at this list, you see things like, Pirates closed to temporarily add Genie Plus, which we all know it's not temporary.
Right.
You've got, you've got some good things on here as far as, the Lunar New Year and things like that. Obviously this weekend is the, Disneyland Half Marathon weekend, which is always big. But I was seeing things today, people, that are coming to do the marathon and they can't get into the park because there's no reservations available. You know, and that's like one of the big things when, I've done a Disneyland Half Marathon, I think 4 or 5 times. And that's like one of the big things. It's like you get to go you go in the park after and you get to, wear your medal and you're high-fiving everybody that's wearing the medal. You can't get in the park. People running the marathon should get automatic reservation. I'm sorry. You're paying $235. You're paying $235 to run 13 miles through Anacrime, and you should be able to get into the park.
I didn't even know that. I thought they just got a ticket. That's terrible.
No.
That's show up like 4 a.m. That's a whole ordeal, and then
it's
you
a big
go home.
It's a whole thing.
Go ahead, Greg.
But yet I was looking today to see if I could buy a bid from somebody who's not racing because I want to do it on Sunday.
Well, there you go. Well, let's get reservation openings at least for the racers and also too for Disneyland hotel guests. Whether you're staying at the Pixar Place Hotel, Grand Californian, DVC, all that, at least give them access to the park. Can't we prioritize a little bit? Anyway, c'est la vie. These are what's happening. But if you want to go ahead and join this experience yourself, you're going to get a chance to right here. D23, the ultimate fan event, starting on March 26th. You too can join a virtual queue to buy tickets for this thing. Now, hopefully it won't be as bad. But it is coming back here August 9th, 10th, and 11th right here. And this is going to be the first time where the Honda Center will be hosting events right here. Also, we got a little bit more information on all this stuff. Disney also announced the fan-focused event will, quote, be expanded globally beginning in Sao Paulo, Brazil this November. This is the first time that Disney's biggest fan event will take place in Latin America, featuring unique content from brands across the Walt Disney Company. Brazil is notable for a couple of reasons. One, it's a huge location for which visitors visit Walt Disney World, and we have heard it in past decade or so as one of those areas where Disney would like to maybe expand to actually place a park. Now, obviously, that's this is probably way off, and it's all preliminary, but it's interesting that they are expanding in this market, at least for the D23 Expo right here. Disney says the event in Anaheim, quote, feature Disney Plus integration, musical performances with world-class artists, special content presentations, a new interactive app, and one-of-a-kind shopping experiences. Now, that Disney Plus integration is going to be the key point here, because according to Deadline, portions of the Ultimate Disney Fan Event will be streamed on Disney Plus, possibly including the 2024 Legends Award ceremony, according to Deadline. So, guys, you going to be making the jump out here to see this thing, or are you going to be streaming it online? What's your take on all of this?
Let's see. Well, I've never been to one, but I plan to go to at least the parks panel, hopefully, this year. And whatever they got going in the Honda Center, if they don't announce something, I'll be very disappointed and demand my money back. But I will still try my best, and hopefully the Wizards will come with me.
I can't wait for Josh Dumar to get up there and say, do you want to talk about all the stuff we could be doing? No, I'm joking. Go ahead, Greg. What were you saying?
I was at last D23, and I was in the room during the parks presentation, and it was deflating, to be honest with you. It was just it was bad. But it's funny. I do think the park presentation will be in the Honda Center, so it'll be interesting to see if not only they offer space, for those attending D23, but separate tickets just for that presentation.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. I would say yes if they're going that way, because I mean, obviously Honda Center, you're talking, depending on how much of the stage is taken up, you're talking, at least 15,000 people, and the space at Anaheim Convention Center only holds, I think it was, like 4,000 or 5,000. So
it's a good point.
You're talking, 3 to 4 times as many people, and obviously not everybody goes to the parks presentation anyway. Plus, you got to get from the Anaheim Convention Center to Honda Center. It's not, it's not far, but there's not public transportation or anything that goes from those 2 spots. So I definitely think that they'll open it up for just, hey, $25 ticket or whatever it is for just the parks panel, and maybe some of the other, if they're doing any of the other panels like the Marvel panel or anything else that they're going to do, or the movies panel that they're going to do over there. I would imagine that they'll probably offer that.
So Greg, do you think they'll announce something?
I mean, I think at this point that they announced the Avengers ride, the last one, and I was cleaning out my closet the other day, and I actually found the poster from D23 2022 that coming soon to Disney California Adventure and the artwork, and nothing has been said about it since. So if there's just so much blue sky stuff going on, if I would imagine they're going to announce something, but it has to be a firm announcement. At this point, nothing has even started being constructed that we don't know about at Disney, at any of the parks. So sure, if they did announce something in August, you're talking at least 2 to 2.5 to 3 years at minimum. But I would say that I would think that something is coming to Anaheim. We do have the Olympics coming in 2028. Right. Lots of tourism, lots of people from other countries. So I would imagine that there's going to be something that they're going to want to open significant.
I mean, you think
prior to the Olympics, yeah. So that gives them 4 years. So if they announce it August of 2024, that gives them 4 years from announcement to open at Disneyland. So
they gotta hurry up.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I was a betting person, I would say something will be announced for Disneyland to open in time for the Olympics.
Yeah, that I think it's a fair bet. I think it's a fair bet, especially with Disneyland Forward kind of making its way across the finish line right here. Not necessarily say that we'll get anything substantial directly from that initially, but some infrastructure would be really, really nice. Maybe a new parking structure opening up in time for those Olympics. But
then on the flip side, the Olympics are in Paris this year, and they're not doing anything for that. So
yeah, well, I think for that one though. For that one, I think like the Disney Studios park, I think the stuff is supposed to be open this year, but the COVID, I think that kind of lit. So I think I'll give them a pass there because I believe they're trying.
True,
right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, they did open the Marvel stuff last year.
You're
right. I'll give them a little bit of a pass there.
But for here, I mean, gosh, I know another park that is ready for the Olympics, and it's a pretty small park. It's a movie park right down the street from me. I know they're getting ready for the Olympics, but I'm sure Knott's is, and I know Six Flags has some cool stuff, but I don't know what's going on after Tiana's, but I hope to be pleasantly surprised.
Well, and that's just it. Briefly before we switch to our next topic right here, but what they could be talking about at this year's D23 Ultimate Fan Event. It's interesting because the Disney Plus integration I find particularly fascinating. Now, as people might be aware of, if you're not, well, here you go. Iger has made statements suggesting that Disney Plus will be profitable by the end of fiscal year 2024, Q4 to be exact, and that quarter ends right at the end of September, right there until we go into the next fiscal year on October 1st. So to get some Disney Plus integration, to get some people subscribed to the platform, not a bad move right here, especially via live stream. It's going to be very interesting to see how that all works. As that expands. But what they might be talking about here, well, maybe not this precisely, but the Country Bear Jamboree at Magic Kingdom Park will close for refurbishment on January 27th and reopen with a new show this summer. No specific opening date has been announced. This was announced at the not the last D23 Expo.
Well, Destination D, right?
Destination D23, right,
November.
exactly. And there are going to be some changes right here with the show. The big speculation is that the audio animatronics themselves will be completely overhauled and maybe even replaced outright for units that actually use electronic actuators as opposed to like hydraulic fluid, pneumatic actuators. So this might be really, really cool to see what technology they actually eventually bring here. But beyond Big Thunder, as we've heard before, it was revealed as part of this announcement. We see right here, Disney Parks blog, but hold your horses, we're not done yet. We have a lot of growth and investment planned for our theme parks in the coming years and look forward to sharing more announcements about Frontierland. So y'all come back now, you hear? Braden from Mickey Views says, the more announcements teased for Frontierland are closing Pecos Bills for Tiana's restaurant. And if they ever get the money, building something desert-ish behind Big Thunder so they can rope it into a new land and remove the Frontierland theme from the existing street, not speculation. Well, we're going to treat it as rumor for right now, but Greg, do you think there's anything behind this right here?
Yeah, I mean, I there's been, obviously there's been a lot of talk that Tiana's doesn't really fit Frontierland in Florida. I disagree, but I was never a huge fan of Splash Mountain anyway. But it makes sense, whether it's a kind of a New Orleans Square, because I mean technically you could really take over that whole Frontierland side of where the side where Country Bears is, and then also incorporate Pirates and make New Orleans Square, and then you have Tiana's there. You can do that. I mean, Pirates is literally right behind Pecos Bills. So you kind of remove that from Adventureland, put it into a New Orleans Square type area. And then obviously you have to have more in Frontierland than just Big Thunder.
Right.
And so, you kind of, build stuff in behind there, that beyond Big Thunder rumor that's been around for, probably longer than I've been alive. No, maybe not that long. But I definitely think, there might be something to that.
I think so. I think it's not the worst move to incorporate maybe a itty bitty sized New Orleans Square in amongst Frontierland, and you can kind of expand that theme out, especially with Big Thunder being so prominently located as it is. You can at the last D23 Expo, actually, they did tease about a Beyond Big Thunder project. Now, obviously, that's changed a little bit because it looks like Encanto's instead going to be incorporating into Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is very interesting. So maybe we keep the Coco concept, maybe we do something with the Villains Land, something like that. But to retheme existing portions of Frontierland to incorporate it with Tiana's by Adventure right next door, not a terrible plan, especially, I mean, we've seen Disneyland do something similar with Tiana's Palace from French Market, right? To further incorporate that Tiana theme into the upcoming attraction. Braden expands his point right here. If they don't secure the necessary resources and approvals to remove Frontierland in its entirety like they want to, at the very least, we should see Disney create a New Orleans area consisting of Tiana's by Adventure and what is currently Pecos Bill. What's interesting about that Pecos Bill specifically, I had no idea before I visited recently this summer that Pecos Bill was the size it was, because I was like, okay, we're hearing a lot of rumors about this. Let me go ahead and peek my head in. And this thing is massive.
It's huge, yeah.
It just goes on for rooms and rooms and rooms. So whatever they put there, I'm not opposed necessarily to a Tiana's Palace or something like it being incorporated within Pecos Bills. But whatever they do put there has to be the draw in order to fill that space up. Because man,
I mean, it's so big. You could put Tiana's, you could put Cafe Orleans, and you could probably do a Blue Bayou type place.
Yes.
In that, I mean, it's that huge.
Yeah. Yeah. It's massive. I mean, it's huge. It takes up almost that entire corner between the little Pirates of the Caribbean outpost right there, and
I mean, it's bigger than any restaurant at Disneyland.
Yeah,
without even, I mean, I without even thinking about square footage, it's bigger than any restaurant at Disneyland.
I agree. That place is. Whew, that place is massive. So, and it was interesting. I was having a conversation with a Walt Disney Worlder who knows the property very, very intimately. And they were saying that, yeah, I mean, the one thing that Magic Kingdom is really missing is quick service food options, and Pecos Bills being one of the biggest ones. I mean, you have to be, you have to be delicate with this whole thing because it could really shift the the ecosystem of the park in significant ways right there. Whereas Disneyland definitely needs more sit-down restaurants, I would say. But this is some big news. Wizard, what do you think about all this?
I think it makes perfect sense. You have a little New Orleans Square area. Then Splash Mountain, it's Tiana, it's very green right now, so kind of, I don't know, very brown versus green. I feel like it'll fit in more. And pretty nice area. Pecos Bills. I haven't heard. How was the food there? Was it good? I haven't been.
Pecos. Isn't it similar to kind of Rancho de Zocalo and?
They've got. I think they have they have like the Mexican area, and then I think there's a barbecue menu as well. But like my wife and I had talked when we were there in August. We had tacos and nachos, and even as a California boy, they weren't the worst tacos and nachos. We're very picky about our Mexican food here, but it was decent for for theme park tacos. It wasn't bad.
Okay. Yeah, so Tiana's Palace will be a nice, refreshing menu anyway. I'm sure it'll be pretty. Everyone seems to like the food here. I haven't been yet, but so
yeah,
it'll be a big hit.
I can tell you right now, I did sample back when I visited the park in November. I did sample Tiana's Palace, and I will say I was really, really pleased with what I had right there. The sweet and sour Tabasco. Oh my goodness gracious! I could take that on just about anything. It was really.
I will say the beignets are not really beignets, but they're good.
Yeah,
they're more hand pies than beignets, but they're still really good.
It's a fair point. Pecos Bill was notable for having the taco bar. So, you had all those toppings and stuff that you could place on those. Unfortunately, that hasn't been a reality since 2020, obviously, for obvious reasons, as probably some could surmise right there. So it's lost a little bit of its luster. Maybe it is time to reimagine this space, as it were. But be careful there, guys. This is a huge, huge space. Whatever you do, you got to make sure you get what is it? Butts in seats, let's say. But I know we have
a character dining location too for Tiana.
Oh, well, that's an interesting point. You could dedicate a room for that. Yeah. You could dedicate like a room for it, for sure.
Yeah,
that is an interesting idea. Never thought about that.
Dining.
Well, because we only have a little bit of time left here, guys, let's go ahead and end on a very, very positive note right here. This is Disneyland Paris, specifically the Electrical Sky Parade. Now, we had heard from various announcements from Disney over the years that this was coming, and a lot of people were like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. We've seen drone shows in the past, but I don't think anybody was had braced themselves sufficiently in order to ready themselves for just what debuted right here. This has got to be some of the best work that entertainment has done in quite a while, and has really kind of set the stage for a brand new art form or brand new medium. Guys, what do we think about this? I'm going to be playing some footage from DLP Welcome as we talk here, but what are you guys' reactions to this?
I mean, I don't think I've been quite blown, and obviously just seeing the video, but since Fantasmic debuted at Disneyland, I don't think I've seen a nighttime spectacular that just made my jaw drop.
Yeah.
Since I first saw Fantasmic at Disneyland in 1992. aging myself a little bit there. It's funny. My wife and I were actually supposed to go to Disneyland Paris this year. We're not going to quite make it. We're going to go next year. So I'm hoping this isn't just like a 1 year thing. It's they're going to continue it, because I need to see this in person. It just looks amazing.
This looks totally incredible. You're going to see some effects here, guys, as we're talking over it, where the drones themselves interact and have some special special features that I don't think none of us quite anticipated. This is some really, really magical stuff. I will say, before I throw it over to Wizard here, this is some of the best work that I've seen from Disney, just in general, in a long, long time. This is some really, really cool stuff. Genuinely, this is awesome right here. Wizard, what are your thoughts on this?
Wow, it still makes me jealous that nothing like this over here, because the international parks are just so cool. But the drones, I love me some drones, and Disneyland Paris and the other park over there do some pretty awesome drone shows. But look at this. Look at the train go up. I hate the Main Street Electrical Parade, but I like this thing. This is great. The drone.
You did not just bash my electrical parade.
That's right.
Here we go.
Electrical parade done. I'll take the Sky Parade though, and electrical parade can go to Florida, because I want Paint the Night back. But these drones here. The ship, the Peter Pan, I believe, or Pirates segment that carries the float of fireworks at the end of it. That's cool. The Pete's Dragon has the smoke come out of it. And they have the fountains, the projections. They have everything. I need the show now, right here, right now. Sorry, Mickey's Moves Magic, but you got to replay it with this.
This is just absolutely phenomenal.
It's speechless. You've seen the progression of drone technology, over the last decade or so, and this just it's Disney magic right there. That's all you can say.
Well, it's what it is. It's hard to put yourself back into 1971, for example, right, with the debut of the electrical water pageant on the Seven Seas Lagoon, and what that might have felt like for people of that era who had never seen anything like that, and then to have that idea brought to life in parade form in 1972 with the debut of the electrical parade in Disneyland. That must have been like, whoa, I did not know that lights could do that, and that was the first kind of battery technology right there. Obviously, the show changed a lot since then, but it kind of I kind of get the sense of wow, this feeling that I'm having right now must have been the feeling back then, and that's a pretty special feeling. I will say with you, Greg. I was there for in 1992. I was very, very little, but I was there for the debut of Fantasmic, and just jaw-dropping excellence right there. World of Color definitely brought a new medium, a new art form with it, but it was okay, water.
It didn't have that same
Yeah, I know, right? And this is just so awesome. I would love to see a version of the show augmented by fireworks, at least to kind of fill in some of the gaps between performances from those drones and setup and takedown. But other than that, this is great. And the inclusion of projections, the inclusion of water effects, this is one of the best effects right here coming up, guys.
Yeah, I would say, if they ever did try to bring this to Disneyland, they would need to augment it with fireworks.
Yeah.
People are going to yell at me, but because the castle was so small,
that's fair.
They would need to augment it with, but I love Disneyland's castle. Don't get me wrong. Please don't yell at me. But you can't do this at Disneyland's castle. The projections, you wouldn't be able to see the projections outside of the hub, so to speak.
Right.
It's just you would have to augment it with more fireworks than.
And I would be interested to see just how like the viewing angles for some of these drones and how they look from multiple angles, because that's the other thing that kind of hinders Disneyland, right? You have to be able to see a show from like 3 different distinct vantage
Right.
points, so that can get a little bit complicated as well. I know, the American lawyers over here are one of the stopgaps that are keeping this from coming to the parks here. But come on, guys, can we overcome some of those legal hurdles right here? Have we gotten to a point
They
where this
better.
stuff is safe enough?
I mean, look, Knott's did some drones. Universal did some drones. So Disney
I
did
mean,
some drones.
yeah, I think it's more of a California thing at this point than because like Dollywood has a fantastic
Yeah.
drone
I mean,
show.
Disney World, the drones are down Disney Springs for a second there.
But yeah, I think this is. I think this kind of it's just like just the next level.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully, we can get some of this stuff going. I mean, can we dedicate like Tom Sawyer's Island, for example, to set this up and have effects go over it? It'd be great, but this is some genuine good stuff.
Speaking of which, it would be interesting to see if they kind of try to do a drone light, something when Phantasmic comes back, maybe testing it out.
That's
kind
a
of
good
seeing
idea.
it,
maybe that's some new magic.
maybe some low level stuff just on the river, that doesn't go too high. Possibility.
That's a good idea. I like it.
You can't have a dragon catch on fire if they're all drones, right?
That's a good point right there. I'll settle for Peter Pan segment coming back, but hey, if you can incorporate new magic, I'm down for that too.
Look, the guitar. Oh, that's nice.
It's great.
Yeah. Really, really good stuff right here. So that was very heartwarming to see. It's very popular to be negative about the mouse right now. And look, sometimes they bring it on themselves. But when they do some amazing stuff, when they do some really fantastic stuff, definitely got to call that out.
Gotta give them credit. Gotta give them credit.
Yep.
Look at that. Oh my God.
So I think that just about does it for today's show there, Wizard. Was there anything more that you wanted to add, Greg? Final thoughts, anybody?
Any final thoughts? Any crazy rumors, anything?
No, not that I'm aware of. I just thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yes, and please come on anytime.
Anytime you want me.
Absolutely. Great finish right there.
Oh, beautiful.
Good way to end it.
Perfect.
Like, subscribe, and have a electrical day. Boom.